porque é muito bom jogar o último dia para sempre ter uma vantagem de pontos.
He said that they are confident and they are okay with that. And playing the third day, the last day, is always good because they know they saw all the other teams and everything, so they are fine with that.
Good, that is a great spirit that I love to hear. So what about loss? How do they feel about losses? Yesterday, loss was very high.
Ela perguntou como vocês se sentem agora com a Luz, né, que foi muito bem ontem e tudo mais. Como tá pra vocês esse sentimento?
Bom, é sempre muito bom o time brasileiro se desempenhando bem. E, querendo ou não, nossa meta é ser o melhor time brasileiro e ser o melhor time da competição. E ter essa disputa saudável com eles, né? Tentar passar eles hoje.
He said that for us, with the Brazilian teams going well, we are so happy for them, but we want to be the best team on Brazil and win the championship. So they are happy for them, but we'll beat them today.
I understand. So last questions to end our story here. What are you guys expecting the most for today's games?
O que vocês esperam de hoje, dos jogos de hoje e tudo mais?
A gente espera um jogo mais agressivo, um jogo também que a gente tá visando tirar algumas equipes para a final. E é isso. É um jogo mais agressivo que a gente precisa buscar fazer pelo menos aqueles 30 pontos. Tá um jogo mais calmo para nossa equipe e algumas equipes precisam pontuar, principalmente a equipe da Ásia.
Our coach says that we need to be more aggressive today, and we need to make at least 30 points. So we are looking for this aggressive game today, and we know that some teams need to make some points too, and we are here to beat them.
All right, I think it's enough for today. And of course, today's game is going to be the last day of a knockout stage. So everything is going to be very intense because we only have 12 slots to go into the finals.
Okay, দুইটা সিং সবাই স্ক্রিন ডাউনলোড করে স্ক্রিনে শেয়ার করে দাও এবং সবাই আর স্কুলে কমেন্ট করো, ঠিক আছে?
Brazilian fans, support for your favorite team. Here I have with Pain Gaming. Good luck to you guys all today. Fighting!
Pain Gaming ready to deliver the worst to their opponents to keep their spot here in the top 12. At this point of time, they've got 101 points in the bag. That should be good enough, but I'm very sure.
দুইটা সিং সবাই স্ক্রিন ডাউনলোড করে স্ক্রিনটা শেয়ার করে দাও এবং সবাই আর স্কুলে কমেন্ট করো, ঠিক আছে?
I want them to get 30 points.
এবং সবাই সাবস্ক্রাইব অবশ্যই সাবস্ক্রাইব করবা।
And fun fact, Pain Gaming actually in the community tournaments right after the FFWS Brazil in the earlier season, they actually took out teams like Lost and Fluxo. So there is a storyline right now that we are getting
ওকে, আমাদের থার্ড ম্যাচ কিন্তু শুরু হয়ে গিয়েছে, ঠিক আছে? দেখা যাক এবার আমাদের আগে কি করতে পারে।
If Fluxo doesn't make it, it means that the other two teams that have bested them and put them second will be there. Pain and Loss. Can you believe it?
I most definitely can believe it. Anything is possible here on the world stage. Anything is possible at the Esports World Cup. And here you go. The teams in danger. 6 of them. Red Hawks, one of them. They need a miracle for sure. Vision System just showed us what sort of a miracle they are capable of. And obviously, we want to see a little bit more from the Chilean squad. AGAL, though, at foundation. And very early gunshots here. Not so sure exactly who's aiming for their heads.
AGL Cypher.
Pretty safe. I believe we saw a player from the side of RRQ quickly sneak away from foundation. Very sneaky from RRQ, trying to take over 2 compounds at the same time.
Yeah, it was Abai. He fired a couple of shots, and he's like, okay, I'm gonna go back to where my team likes the most, which is Refinery, and that has always been the headquarters of RRQ. Goes actually out in the open, finds an airdrop. Bit of a lady luck to say, fortune smiles upon the bold.
পেইন আর ভিভিদের কিন্তু বাই এজিএল দের কিন্তু একটা ফাইট আমরা দেখতে পাচ্ছি এখানে হবে।
Circle should give us a rough idea as to how the movements of the squads will go. Circle 1 still pretty balanced in the middle. Just moving down.
ওকে, আমাদের এর ওদের সামনে কিন্তু অনেক ক্রা, ঠিক আছে? সো ওদের একটা ফাইট আমরা দেখতে পাবো। ওকে, শুরু হয়ে গেছে কিন্তু, ঠিক আছে? দেখা যাক কি হয়। অনেক এন্ড রেড হক্স ব্লেড কিন্তু নকডাউন এখানে। ওকে, নেজাদো কিন্তু নকডাউন, 2টা ওয়াইপ এলিমিনেটেড রেড হক্সের।
I felt like Red Hawks made the wrong read.
কুট্টুস এন্ড ফ্লিকার রেড হক্স কে এখানে রিকভার করতে পারবে নাকি ওয়াইপ আউট হয়ে যাবে, দেখা যাক। ওকে ফুল টিম কিন্তু আবার
There is a chance for them to lead Onyx into paying gaming, but if you are Redhawks, you cannot be in a position where you are just running for your lives. In this case, they don't really have a choice. Kutush puts up the glue wall, but it's only a matter of time before Noki blasts through that, and Kutush will just have to fight for his life. Doesn't have the health bar to do so.
Kutush কিন্তু আবারও eliminated.
Gun just did not have the right timing there. That plasma gun had enough bullets in the mag to continue spraying on for days. It just didn't help the fact that the assault rifles are now doing more damage to those glue walls. Glue wall melters are very useful. The assault rifles will bring them down.
তাদের লেফটে কিন্তু পেইনটা কিন্তু তাদেরকে পেইন দিবে ভালো মানে
down to the southeastern side and run straight into BRU. So that's going to be some information given over to the team. Instant revive for Onyx. Nothing much was lost in the process.
সবাই স্ট্রিমটা শেয়ার করে দাও
The binoculars. As we turn our attention to Mammoth, that's where Redhawks escape to. They will be near Pain Gaming as Movistar R7 takes on Falcons.
Great recovery here for Redhawks. The double revival will still keep them in play. R7, no Riptide Rhythm's gonna block him. The chrono popped instantaneously. Doesn't take any damage whatsoever on fire. Backs away to the rest of his team members as Della is found. Peter with the aggression on fire though. Misses by a single second. Circles around, finds another window, calls for backup into Roro as well. Electrotherapy on play, but it's not enough. On fire though, keep the squad in play. On the drop of the M590. And the pickup is not too troublesome at all. Falcons making quick work of Movistar.
Yeah, Games King try, he really did. Joker was able to run away to confinement. There is
Agile the lost that into the elimination.
Revive going, AGAL not doing that well. Cypher and Barrow is removed from the equation. It's lost now. Toss that nade actually a bit of a ricochet. Dew able to jump away. Can they pluck him out of the skies? Dew is going to land, but General and Haone is on the case, trying to go for a swim. That first one is gonna miss. Shooting fish in the barrel. Dew makes it to dry land, but Los continues the pursuit.
Good double glue wall, and Dew sends the response. He's got the M82B. Riptide Rhythm breaks down the defense. One more shot required, and Dew missing the final opportunity. Haone stepping on out. Dew taking on two players at the same time. Not enough glue walls to keep him safe for long. Dew finally is sacrificed, but bought the squad enough time so the rest of them could get away.
Saved by a tree, General. Ducking behind nature to keep himself in the running. Dew going down puts AGAL at once more another precarious position. Sure, the revives come true, but they've lost big weaponry. Vision System, the second place finisher in the previous round, now finds themselves head-to-head with Dragons Esports, the two teams that both Gideon and Tash mentioned earlier on in the head-to-head.
From the top 12, but once again, the teams that they're going up against here in the bottom 6 are mostly from Groups A and C who are in play today. Alpha 34, the one squad that can't do much about their position. Hot shots as well. So 2 spots guaranteed. In order to make more, they need to push Fluxo out of the leaderboard here as well. And that is most definitely going to take a massive amount of points. Vision System, I wonder if this miracle play can continue for them though.
It's looking more and more possible for sure.
Yeah.
But the consequences of that would be pushing up Fluxo means that Hotshot is guaranteed to not qualify.
Oh, yeah.
Because they are the next on the list, they're next on the chopping block.
I think it's pretty much guaranteed already. Hotshots are not going to be making a 2-point rush. They're just way too close to the bottom of the leaderboard. And the rest of the teams don't really need all that too much. For example, Dragons, they only need about 20 points to catch up. Yeah,
20 points.
That's not a lot. I mean, Dragons in the previous game, massive stuff. Getting to that final circle, 6 eliminations. It's going to be more than good enough for them. They just need to do that, and they've got 4 chances to do so, right? So I'm hoping EMEA gets a shot here at Point Rush. Doesn't matter what they pull away from the Grand Finals. Seeing them there at Point Rush and Grand Finals itself is going to be absolutely fantastic.
And it gives them a chance to win the whole thing with the Champion Rush format too. We've seen that happen firsthand with Onyx.
Yeah.
Not to take anything away from Onyx, they definitely are doing slightly better than they did in their first day of match. But I think it's also fair to say that if Dragons make it through, this is going to be the first time in a grand final setting we have someone from a less mentioned region.
Yeah.
That would be historical.
Absolutely. I mean, they are pretty much the favorites at this point of time for many of them in Saudi Arabia. Can you imagine after this competition, Dragons Esports finds themselves a little bit of a bigger sponsor, maybe one that has got a hub here at the Boulevard itself?
We've seen Twisted Minds pick up the roster of the current Virtus Pro last year, right? Not the greatest run, but it is a possibility.
Falcons may be taken already by this squad that we see in front of us, but Twisted Minds still waiting for a team to be worthy so they can pick one up. But King's walking away. Movistar R7 in a lot of trouble. Limit. PSS in hand, got the rate of fire, and switches out to the S590 just to Georgia. And what a riptide rhythm, courtesy of Limit. Going 2 for 2 there.
2 for nil. So much commitment from the side of Movistar R7. You can't blame them. They needed to stay in the round, and they know that they have to play distraction. So that 2 revives early on is going to carry on the legacy of R7 in this round. But for Team Falcons, they've definitely found their mojo. 7 eliminations and counting, and Confinement plenty of time to loop things up. The blue is closing in, but it doesn't really affect Falcons too much just yet.
Limit is super rich at this point in time. 2,900 coins in his pocket. Falcons are coin rich in case anything does go south for the squad. Finding a recovery isn't going to be that big of a problem, but finding a recovery on a map like Kalahari late game is going to be a massive issue for sure. So Falcons need to stop flirting around outside the safe zone and make it into the circle. But when they get to Bayfront, they should come into R7 once again. RRQ, on the other hand, sneaking around, just making good use of the lower ground. And this is a smart play from RRQ. They're anticipating for the circle to land somewhere around here, and the final circle to get to the spot where RRQ is at. The probability is extremely high.
And I do wonder what is going to be RQ's next move, right? We saw a couple of binoculars. RQ got scanned out, Red House got scanned out, and now a third one on the map that we're seeing. Dragons Esports also got spotted out. Onyx just flew in. AGAL, though, will be the ones that we're focusing on. It's Pain Gaming against them, and sadly, Barros didn't really get a chance to fight back. He tried to be the hero early on, and this time he will just be a past memory. Pain Gaming finding 2 easy pickoffs. And AGL, I feel like we're in the storyline before. He picks himself back up, and Deal pushes down the portal, tries to go for the buffer, couldn't make it through in time. He really tried, but he just could not escape Otovia.
Yeah, no glue wall there to make a miraculous play happen for himself. A tad bit unfortunate. Had the horizon line in hand. We were about to see a miracle play courtesy of Dew. One of the best snipers in the past, just hasn't been hitting those sharp shots recently.
That will free up the path for rotation for Pain. They are pretty deep out into the circle. Another scan for the Dynamics early on reveals where Red Hawk is. I feel like I could say it could be from Pain, because that's the most direct path into the circle. If you try to circle around the northern side, then crossing the refinery, it's going to take too long with the siren blaring.
Raone surely on the move, looking for Russia's #1 spot in terms of being the deadliest guy out there on the battlefield. Not too far away from getting that done. Vision system from up top. Beautiful knock onto Joker. That's not going to be enough to stop the pace of the squad. For the time being, though, nobody else has got the elevation to deal with Vision system. But a couple of hook guns and a couple of jumps later, Vision System's going to be in a lot of trouble. But for the time being, the circle looks for them. Great positioning from the squad.
The biggest winner right now on the map is actually Los. They are uncontested, coming in from the northern side. And they can get a free entry if they want.
Yeah.
But for the rest of the team, it's about to get incredibly bloody. We are almost 12 minutes in, and we still have 11 full squad. And to fight at the eastern side of the refinery,
Red Hawks এখানে কি করতেছে নিচে ফাইটার ইনগেজড হইছে
Lost using the binoculars, managing to scan out 4 players on the side of Movistar R7.
Flicker no, Flicker.
That if they make a straight beeline for the safe zone here, they're going to be in a little bit of trouble. But all thanks to the elevation that Kalahari presents.
Flicker eliminated.
Advantage. They maintain cover as they approach the other squads. Buriram on the other hand, one might expect them to break a leg with that fall, but once again, thanks to the hook gun, which is pretty much cheap and available for everyone.
Nejat, bhai, eta ki? What the third party cheap played?
chipping in
And
as
RS ke
well.
wipe out.
Asana
RS ke again wipe
Aussie
out.
Virtus Pro, back away, Buriram says.
And this is just, again, showing us how experienced BRU players are. That decision to take fire was so quick and decisive. And Moshi landing those initial shots, that is what's going to make the difference in these crucial moments. BRU now rotates forward. They're going to make a bit of detour towards the western side of the map and try to cut through from that compound, from that area. But it will put them in the crosshairs of Pain Gaming and RRQ.
Buriram has not looked dangerous in a while. Waiting for that prime time to strike, and I wonder when that would be. Onyx, the only team eliminated thus far, and Red Hawks are very close to the exact same fate. But Moshi, Wasana, both going down. Pain Gaming delivering the hurt. Motovia with the sharp shots from across. Get High desperately hanging on. Has got the M79. Needs another grenade to wreck the chances of Peter here.
Yeah, Jonah is going to try and help, but Get High has already been knocked down by Noda. And BRU once more collapsing in the hands of Pain Gaming, as they pay the price of 2 members, but at least they're still in it to win it.
Unbelievable stuff. Buriram in the 9th spot. There's a high probability they get eliminated if they keep up the slow pacing for themselves. If we don't see an aggressive version of Buriram, they are probably not going to be at point rush. But look at Lost, circling on in. Falcons in trouble, they see the team wide open. Grenade after grenade. Hararal, Howdy, dropping those nades like they hot, and Falcons dropped right when they found them.
Caught completely unaware and given a shallow burial by Lost. The Brazilian champions
RS ke wipe out again 10 number team.
Before the show even
Not
started, we
expected,
saw
brother.
talking about their playstyle.
Yeah.
We see, we shoot, we take down, we eliminate, and we win. And that is how they won the domestic championship. Finished 4th last year on the stage, 3 out of 4 of them. And right now they're about to make that point once more. Motovia finding Ma'al from